Okay, kids, summertime is over. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's over. It's back to school. It's back to work, homework, all that good stuff. And here in the project, that means that I start cranking out the reviews again and start beating up your credit card. That's what it means when summer break is over now, at least in 2020. Yeah, I feel like I went kind of light on you guys this summer. I felt bad. I really did. There's so many cool things I was going to review, and I just like, I want to hold off. These guys, they need to save up some money. So, sorry, break time is over. I'm going to start beating up your credit cards again. You're going to love it. You're going to thank me for it. Welcome to the watch addiction in TMP. Hopefully you are a participant. If so, you're welcome. You're welcome for the addiction, for the enjoyment of waking up and deciding which piece am I going to wear today. Say and comment if that's you. It's me. Totally me. I look forward to it. It's like, oh my gosh, I get to wear this watch again. And by the way, the piece I'm reviewing right now, the Spinnaker, it's one of them. Yeah, it totally is one of them. It gives me great joy, and I've said that in many WRVs. So I think a lot of you guys are really going to like this watch. Really going to like it. Here's why. And I want to start off showing it to you. It says Spinnaker Fleuss right here on my right wrist now. Good looking watch, right? I think one reason you guys are going to like it, or gals perhaps, is that it's sized right, and it really seems and wears and studies, I'll tell you what that means as a review progresses, like a much more expensive watch. Right? Now, TMP Patreon member, Dr. Dave Englehart. Hey, Doc, what's up? He'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So we've discussed this. And other TMP watch fans, that you really don't have to spend over $300 to get a really good watch. That's usually what I say in my WRVs. I'll stick with that. In this one, you might go just a little bit over it if you do not use a coupon code at Spinnaker's website. And by the way, my links will take you directly to Spinnaker's website for this one, the Fleuss. Model 5085, you're looking at the Dash 11, one of my favorite varieties. I think you guys are going to love this one. Really, really a cool watch. And when I dig into the details, you're going to fall in love with it even more, because this is a legitimate, super high quality chronograph. Now, some of the other ones that I've reviewed, like the Aviate Bullman, I just posted that video. Great watch. I love it. I don't know if it's a legitimate chronograph. I mean, I think it has some limitations I talk about in that WRV. And by the way, that also is a Dartmouth brand. Aviate, if I haven't said so. It falls under the Dartmouth branding, as does Spinnaker, and both companies are managed by Dartmouth. They do great work, have great designs, and they're short-lived. Okay, remember that. And I'm going to change with this WRV, well, at least this one. What I mean by that is I usually cannot post my WRVs in such a timely fashion as to giving you guys opportunities to buy a wide variety of them. Case in point, the Spinnaker Helium, I posted that review. Most of them were gone by the time I got around to it. The Wreck was on its downslope. Here's a Wreck right here, Spinnaker Wreck. This variety is long gone. Okay, and they may bring this one back. If so, I'll put a link to it as this video ages. So I just can't do it because of all the other content flow. There's not that many watch fans in TMP. All the stuff I've talked about. This one, different. I'm going to post this WRV pretty quick. So if you go to Spinnaker's site when I posted it, you'll have a chance to get a wide variety of their excellent colorations of the Spinnaker Fleuss. So first, before we get into the watch and all its super cool details, the Fleuss, we have Taco Bell on the table again. Check that out. See her? Yeah, Taco Bell. That's her name, Taco Bell. Yep, Taco Bell. Oh, wait. Tico. It's Tico Bell, Nut and Fancy. That's the name of that C-47 Skytrain. That super cool nose art. Zulu 8 in D-Day invasion stripes. Dropping the paratroopers behind enemy lines. Yeah. Oh, that's a great model. This is a postage stamp model. Link below, 1:144 scale. I love it. It's absolutely cool. The militarized DC-3. It served so great in World War II, the Dakota. And then just by chance, check this out. I have an ME-262A and a Spitfire Mark 9 in the same scale. Yeah, I bought these off eBay for super cheap, and these are 21st Century Toys, these ones. They came in a matched set. Spitfire versus ME-262. I hope I'm not boring you guys. I find it fascinating. And look, you can tell the size differences. Super cool. ME-262. With its cutting edge performance, but they didn't have the gas, and the engines didn't have the materials to be durable because of the Allied bombing campaign. So the ME-262 was also misemployed. We've talked about that. Still cutting edge, and it served as a basis to some of the Allied, or I should say US jet fighter work after the war. Really love that camo pattern. And then we have the Spitfire. I think those are Hispano cannon on this one. And strangely in US colors. Pretty cool. Well, that's got some nose art on it. What's it say? Taco Bell. That's weird. No, I can't read it. Express, something like that. Yeah, so these planes are going to be on the table. Hope I didn't bore you. If so, you can always drag that slider bar and get to the watch review. Okay, so I started this WRV off on the wrist, right? So you're seeing how it wears on my wrist. It is a solid link. They call it H-link for obvious reasons. It's shaped like an H. Bracelet. Stainless steel bracelet. That'll make the watch weigh 6.4 ounces. I can't speak. 6.4 ounces when it's sized to my 7.5 inch wrist. If you take out more links, it'll be less for you. Now, I've said I will maintain that generally, not always, I don't wear bracelets. I don't like them too much. Super quick is because what you're seeing right here, as you wear them, your wrist will swell and it kind of squeezes you. You may have to take it off and do a micro adjustment on it, which this bracelet does allow. You can see it right here. I'll show it to you. And they're just not as comfortable, and they add a lot of weight. On the good side, they're super durable and they breathe good. So it's not all bad. So we're going to start off with a bracelet. It is a double clasp on the Spinnaker Fleuss. And let's see if it slips over my glove, by the way. And if it doesn't, check this out. There is a diver extension. Is it on that side or this side? There it is, this side right here. So that allows glove wear. Now, supposedly it's designed for a wetsuit, and that's why they call it a diver extension. Sorry, Taco. Yeah, so this part right here. So this will allow you to enlarge the bracelet to put it on and over gloves, maybe a wetsuit. No one's going to dive with this, so who are we kidding? But over a shirt, maybe a thermal top or something like that, where you need more extension. Now check this out. This is the micro adjustment I talked about. So you'll just get a little paper clip or something. You'll have 3 ranges that you could choose to loosen it up a bit. Spinnaker logo right here. I think it's a really high quality bracelet. I say, contrary to every other watch reviewer, I like hollow link bracelets if I could get it. I'll stick with that. And there's a pin clasp right here. How positive is it? Quite. And a security clasp right there. I have worn this watch a bit, so it's going to get scratched up. I did not notice it grabbing hair, being uncomfortable other than its weight. Again, about 6.5 ounces, 6.4 exactly. Here's the case back of the Fleuss with a Spinnaker logo on it. Not too bad. Contrasting screw and case back. This is a quartz watch. They call it a mega quartz movement. I do modify watches, as most y'all know. I program them. I have not taken the Fleuss apart yet, and I have not molested this one. So I can't give you any indication on, I suspect the Miyota quartz movement on here, the chronograph movement. But I'll say it's very crisp and precise when we look at how the watch functions. And I love, of course, the screw and case back, which will give this an impressive, I guess, 150 meter water resistance, which is kind of different. 15 bar. That's pretty funny. It's not 200, not 100, it's 150. For the Fleuss, okay. Sapphire crystal, you can see it marked right there. So this is a, thankfully, slightly domed. Not too much. I don't like hugely domed sapphire crystals. This one's slightly domed, just like that. So if you like sapphire, you're getting it in the package of the Fleuss. And here we go to the face, and this is where it really picks up steam. The review. Yeah, so if you're asleep, wake up. Wake up. The Spinnaker Fleuss 5085 gets everything right here. I'm talking everything. Well, most everything. There's a couple things that I would change. First off, the sizing. And like I led off with, the sizing on this, dudes, is awesome. 43 millimeters. So this isn't one of those huge watches that Nothing Fancy reviews. By the way, I'm wearing a huge watch. It's a Swiss Legend Neptune, and this thing's a freaking monster. And I love it. So you look at this compared to the Fleuss. Hey, Nothing Fancy, review that Swiss Legend Neptune. Here we go again. The reason I'm not is because it's not made anymore. I don't see it anywhere. So when I bought it, it was kind of on the downside of its production run, and I can't post them fast enough. So maybe I will. Maybe I'll just do it just as a fun thing, you know. Silicone strap, Swiss Legend. Really high quality brand, by the way, for what you're paying. But the size is not that huge, monstrous dive watch aesthetic that some of you don't want because of your wrist diameter. It's also 12 millimeters thick, which is manageable. Downturn lugs, as you can see, 50 millimeters lug to lug, 22 millimeter lug spacing if you want to take out the spacers and take the bracelet off and experiment with some strappage, which for a stainless steel bracelet watch, I highly recommend doing that. Okay, so that's one thing I love, that the sizing is ideal. Here's another thing, and I love this, and I've talked about this. It is a chronograph, and as you can see, my timer hand is running. This beautiful blue with a lume pip on it. It's running, and you see the elapsed time here at the 9 o'clock position, where I'm at 20 minutes or so. So that's cool, and this is a legitimate chronograph. I mean, it will run, and it's legible, I think, the subdials are. This is actually 24-hour time, the 3 o'clock subdial. And this is a seconds hand, running seconds hand, and the 6 o'clock subdial. And notice how the hand on that, by the way, is smaller, but it's like bold and has lume on it. How awesome is that? That is cool. And by the way, all the lume is Super Luminova. Okay, when you get Super Luminova, Nothing Fancy, don't mod the hands. Listen, dude, I'm not going to make any promises, but I'm with you on that. I would really think twice about painting or taping over Swiss Super Luminova just because it's such awesome lume. And I'll show it to you hopefully before this WRV ends. But back to my point. We're running a timer, but also it has a bezel, a functional bezel. 120 click, extremely positive. Listen. Okay, that's the first thing. Coin edge. I love coin edge bezels. So it's not super high traction diver bezel. I don't think that's the calling of the Fleuss. The Fleuss is really an EDC watch that kind of combines vintage elements, diver elements together, maritime elements. That's a really nice mix that the Spinnaker designer who put this watch together put together. It's kind of a mix mash of all the watches that we like. I love how they put a bezel on it. Another thing I love about the bezel, look at this. It's domed acrylic. Look at this. So how cool is that? So it's actually layered. The coloration is layered under the acrylic. Dude, I'm so stoked about that. It just gives it a super cool appearance. See how that's kind of rounded? And it just gives it kind of a streamlined, melted appearance, the Fleuss does. It's just a super cool aesthetic. Now we go to the face. I talked about the subdials. I love the blue arcs here. Now, like AV8, Spinnaker just puts so much detail and so much thought into their faces, and the Fleuss is no different, right? So look at this, the blue highlights, and every version will be a little bit different. So go look at the different versions. You may find something that connects to you more than this Dash 11 model. And again, all of these are going to sell out, I think, probably pretty quickly. So buy early. I know I always say that, but I hear later on when guys find the video a year later, like, dude, I can't find any of those. I'm like, sorry, you just got to follow the show. They put a lot of thought in their faces. Notice the texturing. You have micro graduations alternating in kind of a lume color. It's like, I don't know if the camera's picking this up. It looks more white in the viewfinder, but this is actually kind of a lume green coloration. And they're applied numerals. See how they're three-dimensional? So the 4, 8, 10, 2, those are applied, so are the markers. Then the micro graduations are in white, and then the sub graduations are in blue. Notice you have 5, 25, 35 markings here on the inner dial. Little busy, but I don't mind it. Little busy. Notice you have a legible big date window with a divider in it at the 12 o'clock position. I like that a lot. The Spinnaker logo also applied in a very subdued kind of gloss gray. And then you can see the water resistance, 150 meters in blue. Again, adhering to that theme for this particular version. So this is going to be a gray blue. I would call it probably a sea blue and then a lume green. So the numerals on the bezel are also lume green. I might put a screenshot or something in to show you more accurately than perhaps my camera's picking them up. So all that's good. The face is excellent. They do not use Bell & Ross numerals. These are not Bell & Ross numerals. There's something different. Thank heavens. I mean, change it up. Rant complete. That was a short one, nothing. Again, this is military time here. Now, I don't know how many of y'all will access this 3 o'clock dial to say, oh, what do you know? It's coming up on 2000 hours. I don't think anyone's going to do that, but maybe you will. Say in comment if you do. We're going to charge it up a little bit, and I'm going to do the very low-tech lume shot right here. Organic in the video. Swiss Super Luminova is fantastic. I find that, like all lume, it'll burn out within 5 minutes. But the good thing is that it remains legible through the evening in a dim way, but much better than the AV8 brand. And again, I love AV8. I love AV8, but they're not lumers. They're not flashlights. Look at this one, dude. Now, notice that seconds hand in 6 o'clock position, how it's brighter than the other subdials, which allow you to also track the chronograph timing function. Notice the timer hand, as it just swept past the 6 o'clock position. It's got a big old lume pip on it. Isn't that cool? Notice the bezel, dudes. Fully lumed bezel. You got 2, 4, 8, 10. I told you guys are going to dig this watch. This is a shiner. I mean, this is on par, if not better, than Citizen and Seiko, which are kind of my standard in the value watch world. And I think Spinnaker is still a value brand. I think this is a value watch for what you're getting. But holy cow, that lume is fantastic. Had I done this with, like, I don't know, an AV8, we would be pretty dim right now. Pretty dim. I'm going to show you a competitive option too that's going to be maybe a little bit more, and it also will have fantastic lume. But we're going to give it an A+ right here on camera for lume. The Spinnaker Fleuss. And there's some other models like the Cahill, I think, that are going to be pretty similar to this one. I might put links to them below, but they're not going to have all these complications. And the timing bezel. Oh my goodness, dude. This is such a cool watch. Now, you might wonder about the pushers, and that's a good question. First off, let's start with a crown. You can see a Spinnaker logo on it. It's screw in. Anytime you do a chronograph, guys, if you don't know, you're going to have pushers which will, again, start and stop and reset your timing function. But notice this. These are screw-in pushers. Okay, and we're talking high-quality screw-in pushers. This isn't garbage, and I've seen some garbage watches before. Look at that. That's a start-stop. Right now we're approaching 30 minutes in our timer function on the 5085-11. Now I'm going to stop it and we're going to reset it. So sad. Notice the snap back function. And then we're going to screw in the pushers. Look at that. Hey, nothing fancy. There's a lot of watches that do that. I know, but I get excited easily. What can I say? Now you might notice too the AR coating here. See it? See that blue AR coated on the Fleuss? There you go. That's the Fleuss down and dirty. I'm already 20 minutes in. I need to show you a competitive option or two and then shut it down. Oh, one thing I didn't talk about, the hands. I can't believe it, I forget, because it is the most important thing to me. I told you there's one thing I would change. And I say this about every manufacturer, just about. Make your hands pure white or pure whatever color you're using in your watch. I don't like the shiny outline in the Fleuss. If I were to paint them, I would do this loom green. Again, in the camera, they may look white. They're not. They're kind of loom green, which is fantastic. It's a really vintage feel to them. I would paint the hands solid. Yes, I would lose the loom, but it would look so much better. Those hands would freaking pop. Right now, being outlined in somewhat shiny metal, they don't pop so much. They are highly legible, so don't worry about that. You can tell the time. I'm just talking about aesthetic and nut and fancy's programming tendencies. That is really the only thing I would change about this watch. The only thing, unless you could cheapen it for me. I wouldn't mind it being $250. That would be just fine by me. And I love the blue highlights again. Okay, competitive offerings. Here we go. Now, I'm going to show you the loom on this one. And I've shown it in a WRV R2. It is going to be more expensive. It weighs 4 ounces. It's bigger. It's 45 millimeters by 13 by 51. And it's going to be, if you don't get it on a super screaming deal, about $350, which is actually a lot cheaper than it usually sells for. And it's going to be the Tissot Sea Star. This one in orange. Beautiful watch. Fantastic. I love the brand Tissot and Alpina. They are value, true Swiss brands. Look at the loom on that, dudes. Look at the loom. Fleuss holding its own. Blue loom versus green loom. Which one do you like? I really like blue. It's just super cool. It's kind of oceany. So the Sea Star has blue loom, but it does not have the fully loomed bezel of the Fleuss. Notice it has just a pip right here at the 12 o'clock position. I'll probably do a separate review on the Tissot Sea Star. This has the same functionality as this one. Super high quality, great bezel. This is a ceramic bezel. Has an ETA G10 chrono movement in it. Love it. Just a great watch. Tissot, look at the seahorse back on the Tissot. Yeah, this one's going to be bigger though. 45 millimeters versus 43. So if you have a small wrist, this one wouldn't ride so well. That's a great competitive offering. Really fun to bring that to table. The last one, I'm only going to give you 2. Because honestly, I don't have that many chronos. Swiss Legend Ocean Air. I think I've mentioned this one before. Look at this. So this one's programmed. It's an HM watch by myself. I tape the hands white. I freaking love this watch. It's so cool. Swiss Legend, and I'm wearing the Neptune again. It really surprises me when I take these apart. They're like, everything's gold plated. And the watch was like 165 bucks when I got it from Joma Shop, speak of the devil. Dude, 4.4 ounces, and it's 200 meters, so it's even better than the Fleuss. 46, so it's a broad piece, 13 by 52 with a 24 millimeter lug to lug. This one is in a very cool rose-colored gold coating. No, it's solid gold. I wish. No, and chronograph functionality again. These do not have the screw-in pushers like that one does. I painted the timer hand orange here, in case you're wondering. And I taped the hands. This is one of my first ones I did. So if I were to do it over again, I'd probably just paint the hands. It would be a little bit more precise. And then I did this in April of 2019. Holy cow, that's a long time ago. In Utah, great state of Utah. Swiss Legend Ocean Air, great watch. If you can find one of these, they came in different colors and they came in automatic non-chronograph variations as well. If I can find links, I'll put them below. But back to the star of the show. The Spinnaker Fleuss is fantastic. It's sized appropriately. It's super duper detailed. It has a functionality that I think most of you guys will really like. If nothing else, just to play around with. I mean, just pushing it, running timers, using it as a cooking timing device, which I frequently do. I think if you like stainless steel bracelets, a Solid Link H bracelet you'll love. Again, I didn't notice it being uncomfortable. It does add weight. The bezel is a complete win. One of the best I've brought to the table yet, especially with this domed acrylic appearance and its full loom. And the complications we went over in detail. It's fantastic. Buy with confidence. Come back to the video if you get one and let me know if it makes you happy.